there, it's Lisa from Inspired Wellness Tucson. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how I reversed my iodine intolerance, because it was a really big deal for several years. Now I would do, a full thyroid panel. We would also check iodine levels, and every time my doctor was like, hey, you gotta start supplementing more iodine. Your levels are super low. You're at the very bottom of the reference range. Like, we gotta move that up a little bit. I read this wonderful book written by an investigative journalist who did a really deep dive researching iodine and iodine deficiency and how to reverse it, and just how, the list of health conditions linked to iodine deficiency is shocking. It's like 2 pages long, and full of issues that are very common among a lot of Americans. Anyway, so I was very frustrated because I would go with the best of intentions and take my little 1 milligram of Lugol's 2% iodine, just in the 2% formula, 1 drop is 1 milligram. It's a 50-50 combo of iodine and iodide. The iodide is like a salt version. Anyway, like the thyroid loves iodine, the breasts need iodide. So having a good combo like this is really smart, just to make sure you're treating the whole body, because pretty much everything in the body relies on some amount of iodine to function properly, fight microbes, create energy, balance hormones. There's a lot that iodine is helpful for. But so anyway, I would try with the best of intentions to take a little drop of iodine in water or juice, and then guaranteed starting the next day, I would have a migraine, neck stiffness, pain, fibromyalgia, lots of trigger points all over my neck and shoulders, fatigue. It was awful. It was like the iodine flu is kind of what I called it. But when I spoke with my doctor, she's like, I know you're technically on the Hashimoto spectrum, although my antibody levels are really pretty low compared to lots of cases I've heard of. But she's like, I'm sure you've heard there is such a thing as iodine intolerance, but I don't think that's what's going on for you. I think you're having a detox reaction. So she recommended that I just take toxin binders after having taken the iodine, but whether it was a charcoal-based binder or a citrus pectin-based binder, no matter what regular binders I took, it didn't help. So luckily I'm a big nerd and I love researching health-related stuff, so I dove deep, rereading this book, The Iodine Crisis, and also doing research online, and I came across a really cool thing called a saltwater flush. And the logic of that is that, of course, it's based on chemistry, which is very complex, but essentially, salt, unrefined salt, is technically NaCl, right? It's sodium chloride, and the chloride part of it binds to toxic halogens like bromine and fluorine and pulls them out. And so you don't get that awful iodine flu kind of feeling if you are capturing the toxic halogens and pulling them out of your system. That's way better than just letting them circulate freely, making you feel like crap for 2 to 5 days or however long it lasts for you. So in this book, they give a really specific recipe that's very small and easy to do. It was presented by a doctor at a conference in 2007, Dr. William Shevin, and he presents his salt loading protocol saying to use 1/4 teaspoon of an unprocessed, unrefined salt dissolved in a 1/2 cup of warm water, and then follow that immediately with drinking 12 to 16 ounces of pure water. And he said you can repeat that in 30 to 45 minutes if needed. You can repeat again until copious urination begins. And it says, observe subjective response usually within several hours. So when I looked it up online, there were several sources saying to do a whole teaspoon, not a 1/4 teaspoon, but a whole teaspoon of unrefined salt in 4 cups of water. And so I tried that. I ended up chugging it down, and to my amazement, it tasted really good. It didn't taste like salt water, which is exactly what it was. It actually tasted like some sort of delicious vegetable soup. It was the weirdest thing that I was like, oh my God, this is really good. Yeah, because my body needed it. I'm sure if I didn't need it, it would be like, oh, too salty, I don't like this. But to my amazement, within minutes, the neck stiffness went away, the beginning of a headache dissipated, I felt normal, I felt good. Next day, woke up feeling good. There was no 2 to 5 day flare-up, which had always been the case before. Even when I would take a vitamin packet that had just a daily serving, 155 micrograms of iodine, that was enough to set off the fibromyalgia and migraine and neck stiffness. It was a disaster. So I was so relieved to find a way to actually be able to tolerate iodine. So of course, this isn't medical advice. I'm not giving anyone a specific protocol to follow, as much as I am recommending that, talk to a good integrative doctor who understands these things, who can help you figure out what's the right dosage for you to work with. Everyone's body's needs are different. Everyone's metabolism is a little different. I don't recommend jumping immediately to a high dose like 25 or 50 milligram protocol like some people recommend for severely deficient people. I just think that's a little risky if you are prone to having a bad reaction. You don't want to liberate too many toxins all at once and freak your poor little body out. But if you're starting with a half of a milligram or 1 or 2 milligrams and then gradually work it up, I think slow and steady is a really smart way to go versus diving in with both feet into mega dosing and then possibly having a bad reaction. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, but I just wanted to share with you, if you have been feeling hopeless because you were told, to worry about iodine intolerance, or if you had had a bad reaction when you tried supplementing iodine, just wanted to let you know, if you try it again, make sure you've got that salt water on hand. If you're kind of scared of taking in salt because you have sodium issues, just start with that 1/4 teaspoon in the half cup, followed by 12 to 16 ounces of plain water. See if that helps. Or if you're okay with salt like I am, you can jump into that bigger dosage. But yeah, see if it helps you, because iodine is really essential to overall health. And if you're having a bad reaction to it, it may not be that you're intolerant to the iodine. It may just be that you're having a hard time dealing with all the toxins that kicks up in your system when you take it in. Good luck.